Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Today we are going to rehair a bow, and this is a cello bow to be specific. But before we start working on the bow, let me put a disclaimer. Rehairing a bow is not very easy, and at the other side it is very easy to damage the bow and even damage it beyond repair. So if you have a nice bow, I would recommend to keep bringing it to your violin or bow maker to put new hair on it. This video is not meant for the people that are not a violin maker or a bow maker and want to rehair their own bow just to save on the cost of paying the specialist. It's difficult to do it, and that's why it's also a bit expensive. This video is more meant for people that live in areas that there are no violin makers, or for people that are already working on a certain level and want to go a step ahead. With that said, let's start on the bow. And the first and obvious step is to remove the old hair. I will cut the hair at this side. And now I can remove the frog with the rest of the hair and put it aside, as we are going to work on this later. There are two ways to rehair a bow. One way is to start at the tip going towards the frog, and the other way is starting at the frog and going towards the tip. I am used to start at the tip, and this is the way that I will also show you. I have never done it the opposite way, so I cannot tell you if that way is better or easier. Now I'm going to remove this wedge. Sometimes it comes out in one piece, then you could even use it again, and sometimes it's so stuck that it doesn't come, or it's even glued. Then you have to split it. This came out in one piece. I could use it again, but I'm not going to use it again because I want to show you how to make one. Now the hair can go out. With the hair removed, I'm going to start shaping the new wedge. It's a bit too narrow here and has to become a bit wider on this side, so I'm going to change the angle of these two sides. The wedge fits good enough into the hole. Now I'm going to put the hair in place and then finish up the wedge just before putting it in place. To measure the quantity of hair that I need, I'm going to use this tool, and I will need the ring. Mostly it comes off easily. I am lucky today, but sometimes it is hard to remove it. I can use this tool to measure the width of the ring. For cello I use the width that I have measured. For violin I do a little bit less, about 10%. Before I cut the hair, I will prepare a piece of rope. Something like that will do the job. I like to cut it a bit longer than I need. And I will fix one part on my bench so I can make a knot. And now I can measure and cut the hair. Did you know that you can support my channel on Patreon? If you would like to do that, don't hesitate to visit my page. The link is in the description. I'm going to tie the hair together with this rope, passing behind every time. And for cellos I do 5 times, for violin I do 4 times. Perfect. I will cut the excess hair and rope off, but not too close to the node. Now I'm going to use a bit of super glue to glue the hair together. I know that there are violin makers that use rosin, but I have used it in the past but was not very satisfied with the result. I prefer super glue, but you have to be careful that the glue doesn't pass the node. I will trim this a bit of excess closer to the node. Now I can put the hair in the tip with a node lying on the bottom. Next I will put the wedge on place, but now I can see that it is a bit too long, so I'm going to make it shorter at the front side. The wedge is a tight fit, but it is a bit too long. That means that I can make it shorter and finally put it on its position. What I don't like so much now is that the hair comes vertical out of the tip and it has to go like that. It is very hard to pull it nice and tight, and that's why I will put a clamp on it to keep it like that one night until tomorrow, and then I will go ahead. The bow is still in the clamp. Before we go ahead, I have to prepare the frog. That means that I have to remove the old hair and prepare the new wedge. What I also do when rehairing a bow is clean up the metal parts of the frog and the ring. With the frog nice and clean, I can make a new wedge. Now I have fixed the bow on my bench again. As you see, the hair doesn't come perpendicular out of the tip anymore. I have also fixed a rope at the correct distance where I want it to be. And I have some water and a sponge and a comb, because now I'm going to wet with the sponge the hair a little bit, not too much, and also be very careful not to wet the tip wedge, because then it can become a little bit bigger and break the tip. And I will use the comb to brush the hair nice and straight. Now this part of the node is at the same length from here as the distance from here until the bottom of the hole. I can cut the excess hair, but once again not too close to the node. It's very easy to forget to put the ring on the hair, as this has to happen before you put the hair in the frog. That's why I will do it now immediately, so I don't forget it. And I will use some super glue once again to glue the hair. And finally the hair can go in the frog. The wedge is too long, so I will have to make it a bit shorter. With a wedge in place, I can put the frog again on the bow. I can close the frog and put the ring on its place. I will leave it like that for a couple of hours until the hair is dry again. The hair is dry, that means that now I can put the last wedge, the third one, here behind the hair in the ring. I have it here. And that wedge will keep the hair spread over the whole width of the ring. The wedge is now at the correct dimensions, so I can put it in place, but this one has to be glued, so I'm going to use a small drop of white glue. And now I have to wait one final time until the glue of this wedge is dry for the last step. The glue is dry, that means that we can go to the last step, which is the flame. I'm going to pass with the hair of the bow close over the flame. Warming up the hair makes it a bit tighter. Some hair that are a bit too loose will get as tight as the rest, and so the whole width of the hair will be nice and even. It is though a bit scary because the hair is flammable, so it is possible that it catches fire. You have to move the bow very quickly and be careful not to burn everything. And so the bow is rehaired and ready for use again. That means that was the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. Many thanks to the Patreons for supporting the channel, and if you also appreciate my content, don't forget to visit my Patreon page, the link is in the description. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and also share with others, and I will see you next time again. Bye bye!